All right, y'all, back to work. FOMC is out. Hope you made some money on that beautiful rug pull we talked about last night. And I got some more good news for tomorrow. We have a beautiful bear trap setting up right now. I want to talk about tonight where to find the bear trap, how to time the entry, where to take the profit. We're going to cover the entire roadmap tonight because when you see tonight's charts, there's two price levels that if we can hit those levels, that bear trap could trigger a massive squeeze, be a nice big home run winner for us on Thursday morning. So I'll cover the entire roadmap tonight. Tonight's video, charts are ready. Enough of the intro. As always, thanks for sticking around, watching my videos. Let's dive in and make some more moolah on Thursday morning. S&P SPY ready to go tonight. Nasdaq triple Qs are always ready, aren't they? I've got 4 clues on these charts telling me where I think the money is made tomorrow. The first clue is right here on the hourly time frame. I like to use the hourly chart as an overall directional filter. It's pretty easy to see right now the buyers are in full control. So one clue, the directional bias is bullish for tomorrow. But I mentioned earlier there's 2 important levels I wanted to keep in mind or keep an eye on: the 65 3/4 level on the S&P, the 18 3/4 level on the Nasdaq. If you like making money, make note of those levels. We're going to cover those a bit later on tonight's video. That's one big clue here on the hourly time frame. I have some more important clues on some tick charts. Before we dive into those charts, though, let's talk about schedule for tomorrow. 3 things on my mind for Thursday's trading session. First of all, there's no major news tomorrow. Those are delayed because of the government shutdown. Be aware, though, tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, the Trump-Xi meeting is on in South Korea. You know Trump will make a big splash about that after that meeting comes out. So that's definitely some headlines we're watching here overnight. Tomorrow, ECB announcement, 7:30, 7:45 Eastern Time. If you're trading pre-market tomorrow, be aware, ECB before the open tomorrow. And of course, tomorrow night, we have the second batch of the big block of Mag 7 earnings, Amazon, Apple, just a couple small companies, right, reporting there after the close. We heard relatively good news from Meta, Microsoft, or Alphabet smashed their expectations this afternoon. But now our focus shifts there to Amazon and Apple. We'll see if Apple can pick up the pace, right? Apple is the one that's kind of lagging behind on the AI hunt. We'll see how that looks tomorrow after the close. So Trump-Xi meeting in South Korea, that's going to be a big one overnight. ECB tomorrow and big earnings after the close. But let's get back to our charts though right now because the money is made on the charts. I mentioned earlier here, we know we are bullish overall on the hourly time frame. And like I said, couple key levels here, 65 3/4. Keep that in the back of your mind. We'll talk about that here more in just a moment. On to our tick charts. Tick charts, guys. Tick charts are best for timing entries. If you want to time better entries, get some tick charts. The 7,000 tick chart, upper left-hand corner. And in case you're watching for the first time right now, that is the 21 EMA. It is the only indicator we need to make repeatable profits. I see 3 clues on these charts right now. One big clue is that strong move down. We talked about this last night. If you watch last night's video, why is that important? Well, because anytime we see a bullish market overall with a strong move down, that strong move, it's almost like a psychological magnet. Sellers are going to try to take out that low before we resume the overall bullish trend. Keep that on your mind for later on in this video. Second clue, this range right here. What do ranges do? They like to rotate, right? They rotate down, up, back and forth, right? We use things like symmetry, the amount above, the amount below. Look where that symmetry puts us. Very convenient, right? Also, too, I might add, too, because we're bullish overall, this range right here is more likely to break out and go higher. We'll talk about that a bit later on here as well. And the final clue here, remember that level, that 65 3/4 level? Yeah, look where that is. It's right below that pendulum swing, right below that low. This is kind of that gap up we saw on Sunday night. That is a huge support level there. 65 3/4. So if you put all these clues together right now, I think it's pretty easy to see where we want that bear trap. Now, I do want to talk about if we go higher here, right? Because you know we're bullish overall. We've had some pretty good news the past 24 hours. I have 3 different types of bear traps I'm looking for if we go higher. We're going to cover that a bit later on tonight. Unless you hate making money, I would definitely make sure you watch all the way to the end. My favorite trade though, let's run this thing lower. I would love to get this really crush going lower into that key gap support area, take out the pendulum swing, take out the retest. Now remember, I don't have a crystal ball. This may go very far below that low, but in a bull market overall, this is a horrible spot to be selling. If we're lucky tomorrow, it'll be a really strong run down. So strong that all the rookies who don't watch my videos, they're going to think that is a major reversal, but it's not a reversal. It's a retest, right? It's just a pullback in a bull market. Now, we're not going to pick a bottom on this. We're going to wait for the price to pull back. Let these bears try a couple times. I like to let the bears try twice. That way I can use their stop losses to then fuel that move going higher. Now remind me again, where does the market now want to go? It wants to rotate back where? Back to the other side of that trading range. So once that bear trap triggers that squeeze, now we look to add to our winners. The add-on trade is simple. Look for separation off the moving average, a higher high in price. I'm going to add to my winning position right here, right below that low. This is called a bear trap. It's a 2-try bear trap, like I teach in my free video course. And it's an add-on trade as we rotate off of that low. Now, question for you. What if we don't get that bear trap down there? You know, for example, what if all we get is just below that 95 level? Wouldn't surprise me at all. Or what if we run down and there's so many buyers down here? What if it just whoop and runs right back up again? If it really bounces hard off that low and begins to kind of what we call a V bottom in our trade room, if it V bottoms off that low, the key is I don't want to chase after it. I'll make a very small adjustment. Find a new channel by drawing off the highs, bring it down off that low, and here's where the magic happens. We look at these prior swing lows, and I want to buy what I call the first test is the best test off the low of that channel. Now, this could be any of the entry techniques you guys are learning in my free video course. My favorite one is getting just below a swing like that, below that moving average, trapping bears in a couple times, and using their stops to squeeze that run going higher. And again, as it runs higher, I can then look for that add-on, right? That separation off of that moving average, the add-on trade right there. So the most important thing is the first test, the first pullback off the low of that channel. That'd be a fantastic way to buy that bear trap if we don't get the technical bear trap I mentioned earlier a few moments ago. Now, what if we go higher here, right? What if we don't get that deep pullback? I have a few more scenarios I'm going to flesh out here on tonight's video. Before we dive any deeper though, let's slow down for a couple seconds because I know most of you folks watching right now, you guys know these patterns. You're making money with these already. But if you're watching for the first time right now, this might be a brand new strategy for you. Don't you worry though, because I teach this entire roadmap, the entire strategy in my free trading course. In fact, I have a ton of examples of all these entry patterns. I go into so much more detail on my website in the free video class. What I'll do, guys, I'll put a link up top here for you, upper right-hand corner. Hit that link that popped up there. Take that free trading course because the strategy I teach in that short video series will teach you a simple trick we use in our members trade room that tells me exactly where to find the winning trades today. It's remarkably simple. More importantly though, let's face it, we make our money by timing good entries. So I'm going to teach you in that free video class my 4 favorite entry setups so you can time better entries, get your confidence back in your trading. Guys, bottom line, if you're still missing the best moves each day, if you've lost your confidence in your current strategy, don't wait anymore. Hit that link that popped up there. Watch that free trading course. You're going to love all the trade examples I include in that short video series on the website. The best part is it's completely free for you. Also be aware too, folks, I'm going to put all the important links you'll need down below tonight's video. Start first with that free video course. Most folks start making money all on their own, all from that free video class. So start there first, get your P&L back in the green again with that. And don't forget too, we trade together. We trade this stuff together every morning at 8 o'clock Eastern time. I'll put Trade Room membership link down below tonight's video. And by the way too, if you're on Twitter or X as they call it these days, I post a lot of charts and videos and mindset stuff on the Twitter platform during the day. If you're on there, give me a follow. All the details you'll need to learn more, hopefully earn a lot more, are right below tonight's video description of the YouTube video. All right, so now you know where to go if you're tuning in for the first time right now to learn all these entry tactics. Everyone loves that free video class. Okay, so we're going to talk about going higher here in a moment because we may not get that move going lower. I got 3 bear traps I'm watching as we go higher here. We talked about though, what if we don't get that deep pullback? And also too, a lot of volatility right now. For example, one more scenario I want you to remember is that oftentimes we see a very strong rundown. We get a bear trap down here, we get a nice, easy winning trade, but sometimes the retest of that strong move is also a strong move. So sometimes the retest move is also a strong move, and that strong move is also going to want to retest. So oftentimes in our trade room, I'm going to get my target hit. I'll get my 1-to-1 target hit. I'll get that stop moved up to my point of entry. But oftentimes the underbelly of these ranges, right, they can hold as resistance, and we see one more leg going lower. Now, I'm going to warn you right now. This will feel like a reversal. It will feel very convincing. But remember this. Don't forget, these are the tick charts. Okay, the tick charts do not tell us direction. Do not let tick charts convince you this is a reversal. Okay, we talk about this a lot in our trade room. Stay focused on the side of the 60-minute time frame. The hourly chart is our direction, right? That will keep you out of trouble 9 to 10 times. So when it comes running back down to those lows again, and that voice in your head says, I don't know. No. This is a retest trade. It's a retest. Retest trades are, believe me, you will fall in love with retest trades. Bull market, retest that low. When all the rookies come out and they start chasing after it, you'll sit there right there, wait for those bears to try twice, run those stops going higher. And again, it's the same pattern. It's that same 2-try bear trap. And promise me, if we're lucky enough to get a retest trade tomorrow, please add to your winner. Because these things, oftentimes, because anyone who sells up here, right? Anyone who sells up there, they take their profit. They become buyers down there. That's why retest trades work so well. Everyone's buying. Everyone's buying, right? Even sellers who sold up here, they're also buying down here. Right? And of course, those poor rookies, right? They're using indicators and chat room signals, and you know how it goes, right? They get run over. We all been there for, right? They get run over. The bears get trapped in. And then again, the real professionals, they don't just kick back and relax, right? They don't start counting their money yet. They put some of that money back on and they add more to their winner. Bear trap, add on, and let that sucker run, right? Let that thing run. You know what ranges want to do. Okay, so some variations on that. And then last but not least here, I wouldn't be surprised at all. There's a channel come up there you saw before, right? I wouldn't be surprised at all if we ran lower and just got a little bit below that low and then ripped and ran higher from there. That would not surprise me at all because in all reality, this looks a bit like a 1-try, a 2-try. So I wouldn't totally be shocked if we can't complete that low. Now, this is going to be a bit of a different tactic. It's similar, but it's different. Because why? Well, because first of all, we know that strong move wants to retest. We know the pendulum swing, as we call it, wants to complete, right? So if I'm buying right here, can we all agree I'm buying a little bit higher than I want to be buying, right? It's a little bit higher than I want to be buying, right? Okay, so if you're a student of mine, you probably know already, right? What's the pattern we use whenever we're buying relatively high? It's a technical bear trap. Now, what is the difference? Well, a regular bear trap, we run lower, we trap the bears in, and we buy into stops, right? Because in these scenarios, I can risk small to earn much larger. I can be aggressive in those trades, right? On a shallow pullback, though, I can't be too aggressive. My risk reward ratio isn't as desirable, right? So in order to combat that, counterbalance that, what I'll do now is I'm looking for 2 tries, but I want to get in underneath a prior swing, all right? Underneath a prior swing. So bottom line is, if we end up kind of bouncing off this low really hard like that, I'll be looking for ways to get in underneath prior swings. The most important takeaway is, unless we get that big run down, if we're going higher here, it's buying under prior swings, okay? I'm gonna buy as low as I can as we try to finish off that rotation going higher here. But I'm getting excited just talking this stuff to you guys here right now. That is the game plan for that bear trap down there, right? Hopefully we'll get that for tomorrow, because that range rotation could take us higher here. Now let's talk about going higher, right? Because going higher, we gotta be a bit careful, right? Because we're gonna be buying high up there. So let's grab the Nasdaq right now. Let's talk Nasdaq, go over this thing in case we don't get that bear trap. Now, first of all, we can see 2 things here on the Nasdaq, right? One, we know we're bullish, right? You don't need me to tell you that, right? We're not a bear market right now, that's for sure. We're a bull market overall. This is my directional bias, right? That's what I was harping about earlier on here on this video, right? We don't let tick charts, the lower time frame, convince us to go against the direction on this higher time frame. And the second level, right, of the day today is that 260.18, right? That is the key level. Now, why is that an important level? Because what is that below us right there? It's a range. What do ranges do? Yeah, they love to break out pullback, right? So that level is a key level, and we'll grab a look at that here in just a moment. Now, before I dive into that though, and go deeper on this, before we dive into the Nasdaq here, I want to share something with you guys I've been working on for like the last year and a half now. We all know AI is the technology of the future. And I recently built an AI tool that gives me an advantage over every other trader on the planet. I use this AI tool in my trading, in my personal life, and I'm completely obsessed with it, addicted to it, you might say. So if you're like me, looking for ways to leverage AI in your trading, what I'll do is I will drop a link down below tonight's video, or just scan that QR code that pops up there with your iPhone and try my new AI productivity tool called VoiceTap. I'm going to warn you though for a second. Once you start using it, you will never want to stop. You'll be addicted to it like I am, believe me. So use that link below or scan that QR code for a free download and let me know what you think. I get a lot of people using it right now, a lot of good feedback. I would love to hear what you think about the tool there as well. Now, let's dive in now and talk about the Nasdaq. Over on the tick charts here, and again, tick charts are easier for timing entries. Compare a time chart to tick chart, and you'll see for yourself. I see 2 really big clues right now. One clue is that strong run down. What do strong runs do? They're like a psychological magnet. They want to take out that low before we resume the overall bullish trend. And one of the most important clues here right now is that range right here, right? Remember, ranges are so valuable, right? Why? Why are ranges so valuable? Because they rotate, right? The amount above, the amount below. And again, right, we know that rotation play from earlier on in this video. And because we are a bullish range, in a bullish market overall, we're more likely now for a breakout, right? And we'll talk about those 3 breakout patterns, those bear trap patterns I'm watching as we go, if we go higher here. Now, look at the level below us, right? Oh, there's that 18 3/4 level, right? Boy, does that look primo, right below that low. It lines up right around the retest of that low. It lines up right around that pendulum swing area. So very enticing in that area. So if we're lucky enough, maybe overnight, hopefully tomorrow morning during the morning session, we get that run going lower here, take care of that pendulum swing. And again, don't be naive, right? I'm not going to blindly buy that area. We may keep on going a bit more below that area. What I do know for sure is I know that in a bull market overall, this is a horrible spot to be selling, and that range above us is going to want to rotate back up again. So just as we said earlier on the S&P, all of the same bear trap patterns I said earlier, right? That 2-try bear trap, that add-on play, that works. I also love the idea. I love the idea of the V bottom play. We go lower, we bounce back up, that V bottom off of that low. What was it again? First test is the best test. Underneath that low, love those V bottom plays off the low of that channel. And sometimes a strong move has another strong move during the retest, and that one wants to retest. And again, like I said earlier, you will soon love retest trades as much as I do. We love these in our trade room, right? Retest trades. They feel like reversal, and that's why they work so well, because they trap in so many inexperienced traders. Okay, so same basic stuff earlier on the S&P can be copy and pasted pretty much over to the Nasdaq. Now, as we go higher here, all right? As we go higher here, I want you to think about this sequence, okay? So, on a range, what almost always happens on a trading range is one of two things, okay? First of all, is a breakout pullback off that trading range. Okay, that's one. The other is, my favorite, is a breakout into another range. Okay, these are the two most common scenarios after a range breakout, especially in these conditions that we're seeing right now. So let's talk about that first one, right? The breakout pullback. What you want to think about is this sequence right here. This is the magic sequence when it comes to breakout pullbacks. If we get that breakout going higher, and I can start seeing some separation off of that moving average. This is that add-on trade I mentioned earlier on the S&P trade, right? So if we separate off that moving average, I can now begin to look for what is basically a technical bear trap, is basically what this is, getting in below that low. Now, warning, these are less reliable. I always go half size on these trades, quarter size on these trades. They're a bit more aggressive, right? They really are, right? So half size trades. Now, very important, really pay attention right now. I know we're late in this video right now. The breakout leg is the measuring leg, okay? So how do we know where to take the profit target? Well, this is what tells you. The breakout leg is the measuring leg. It always is. Always, no asterisk, always is, okay? This is once you learn this technique, everything begins to make sense. All right? Everything begins to make sense. When I break out of a range, okay, the breakout leg is the measuring leg. Now, why is it important? Because now that tells us now where to take that paycheck. Okay, makes sense? Okay, now, at this point, we now look for what is a two-legged pullback, right? One leg, two leg, in my eyes, a bit more than a measured move, okay? Now, this will probably come back somewhere around these prior highs, okay? The goal, though, is a two-legged pullback, okay? Now, could I sell that two-legged pullback? I could. It needs to be what's called a crown reversal pattern. Now, warning, these are against the trend. They're less reliable. They're half-size positions, okay? So, look at this. One leg, two leg, all right? Again, two-legged pullback around the edges of that trading range, okay? So it's a technical bear trap. It's a crown reversal pattern. And I'll be honest, not my favorite trade, okay? Not my favorite trade, right? So it's really gonna be a good setup there. Don't force a half-baked setup. If you're not making money going with the trend, might be better off to skip that one, right? But a lot of you guys are good at this stuff now, so you know which ones to take in our trade room. Now, at this point now this thing feels reversal, right? It feels, oh my goodness, right? The sky is falling. It's not. It's just a breakout pullback off that trading range. So as we go lower now I have all of that momentum for the bulls. The buyers want what? They want to go back and take out that high. Why? Because strong moves love to retest, right? We know that already. Now trap those bears in once, twice, and you know how the rest of this sequence goes, right? It's a bear trap. And if we're really lucky, we'll get some separation. We'll get that same pattern right there, right? These things repeat over and over and over again. Things might be different these days, right? That the world is different, but the way in which people react to fear and greed will never stop, right? My granddaddy reacted to fear and greed the same way I do, right? That's why it doesn't matter if things are different right now. Sure, things are different, but what's not different is the way human beings behave when there's uncertainty, risk, reward. Okay, anyways, on my soapbox here, it's a bear trap, right? It's a crown reversal. It's a two-legged pullback, a breakout pullback bear trap, an add-on, and then take that profit back at that low. I don't know how many of these we'll get tomorrow. Might be all of them, might be one or two of them, but that's the roadmap. That's the formula. Screenshot this, sleep on this at night. You should be seeing this stuff in your dreams at night. Okay, that's your breakout pullback. Okay, now the second scenario is the easy one. The easiest one is the pop up to range, right? The easiest one is we pop up into a new range. Now, why is that the easier one? Well, because what do ranges do? They like to rotate, right? And what do previous ranges do? They exactly right. They break out pullback. Exactly right. So all we do now is we mark those prior highs around the edges of the ranges there. We wait for that pullback now. We do not let it fool us because we know that range above us wants to rotate going higher, and we trap, right? We bears once, bears twice. We squeeze those poor stops, those poor rookies. They got to pay their tuition somehow, though. Someone's going to teach these rookies what to do, right? They might as well get it from us, right? Okay, so now add on to it. And remember, this is why range is my favorite, because they're lucrative. Why do I say that? Because now where are we going? We're not going back to the high now. We're going to a rotation. We're trying to rotate off the low. Now we're going all the way to that pendulum swing, right? Bear trap, add on, leave that runner all the way at the side of that trading range, all right? And remember, that knife cuts both ways, right? If we run up into a range up here, we pop up and then come crashing back down again, which, by the way, that would be that crown reversal pattern, right? That'd be the short off the high. Again, the amount above, the amount below. This will feel like a reversal. Very scary, very uncomfortable, but get ready, get used to it, right? The more uncomfortable we are, the more money we usually make, right? So now, while all the rookies are chasing after it, you know it's not a reversal, it's a rotation. It's a range rotation. Trap them in, squeeze those stops, keep buying low, selling high, and trading that rotation. That's the game plan for the breakout pullback, the breakout into a trading range. Which one will I get tomorrow? I have no clue. I have no crystal ball, but now I know what the roadmap is, right? Now I know if we get this, that's the game plan for that. What do you think though? Maybe I'm wrong about this. What's your opinion? Am I wrong about this? Let me know down below in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching all the way to the end of these videos. Now, tomorrow morning, don't forget, the place to be is a trade room. The easiest way to start making repeatable profits is to learn and trade along every morning at the opening bell. That's what the good stuff is every day. I'll put all the important links you guys need to get started. Hit that link below. Join up. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock Eastern time. But start first with that free video course. You're going to love the trade examples I include in the free videos. Then come join us. Come trade with us, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll do it together. In the meantime, guys, be well out there. Be nice to each other, will ya? Make some money out there for me tomorrow. And by all means, you better be here next time. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.